Welcome, Christ Energy. The air around you has been shifting, the atmosphere tightening, the spiritual frequency around your life rising. Because heaven has placed you in a moment where everything is about to change with a single connection, a single vibration, a single call. And you can feel it. Something inside you has been restless, stirring, almost alert, like your spirit is waiting for something your mind cannot yet explain. You've been sensing movement in the unseen, sensing conversations happening about you, sensing decisions being made that involve your name, your purpose, your direction. And now the divine message is clear. A phone call is coming, and it will not be like the others. This one carries weight. This one carries breakthrough. This one carries divine timing. But before that moment arrives, you must understand something about them. The people who underestimated the force inside you. They didn't just doubt your potential. They feared what your elevation would mean for their comfort. These are the ones who saw your light and pretended they didn't. They saw your growth and felt threatened. They saw your resilience and secretly resented it. And when you went silent, when you chose isolation, when you decided to heal, they thought you were done. They thought you had lost your fire, your momentum, your voice. But what they didn't know is that silence was your preparation. Isolation was your realignment. And the quiet season they mistook for defeat was the season heaven used to sharpen your spirit and strengthen your discernment. These people talked about you when you weren't in the room. They whispered doubts about your future. They assumed your story was settling into a predictable pattern. They counted you out because they thought you had no one backing you up. But they were wrong. God was backing you up. Angels were backing you up. Destiny was backing you up. And now, the moment they said would never come is about to arrive suddenly, unexpectedly, supernaturally, because the phone call coming to you is not random. It is not casual. It is not accidental. It's connected to your purpose. It's connected to your next chapter. And it's connected to the promise God whispered over your life long before the battles even began. Someone has been watching your progress. Someone has been thinking about you. Someone has been trying to reach you, but waiting for the right timing. And heaven is confirming. The timing is now. This call will shift your path. This call will reveal what's been hidden. This call will expose the next step you've been praying for. And when it comes, everything in your life will begin to accelerate. Doors will open, delays will break, clarity will return, and the weight you've been carrying will finally lift, because this call is a divine trigger, a spiritual ignition, a supernatural doorway disguised as a simple moment of communication. Get ready. The heavens are preparing your elevation, and this phone call will change everything. They never expected you to rise again. That's the truth. The people who once smiled in your face, the ones who spoke softly but carried hidden jealousy, the ones who pretended to support you while quietly hoping you would fall. They believed your quiet season meant your story was over. They mistook your pause for weakness. They misread your withdrawal as defeat. But what they didn't realize is that chosen ones do not break. They recalibrate. You were not collapsing. You were being repositioned. You were not giving up. You were being redirected. You were not losing strength. You were gathering it. And while they were underestimating you, heaven was upgrading you. These people talked like their words could define you. They spoke as if their opinions carried authority over your destiny. Some whispered that you were finished. Some said you lost your chance. Others claimed you missed your moment. But none of them knew what God was constructing behind the scenes. None of them understood the assignments being rearranged in the unseen. None of them saw the angelic traffic moving around your life. They didn't know that heaven had placed your name on a new path, a new timeline, a new level. And this is why the next phone call is so crucial. It carries the announcement of that shift. The same people who doubted you will be shocked when they hear what's happening for you. Because this call is not coming from a place of pity or charity or chance. It is coming from alignment. It is coming from destiny. It is coming from divine orchestration. And while they were busy counting you out, someone else was preparing an opportunity that fits you perfectly. Someone was studying your gifts. Someone was admiring your resilience. Someone was recognizing your potential. Someone was remembering your name at the right moment. And now that memory is turning into movement. This phone call will expose the truth. You were never behind. You were never forgotten. You were never abandoned. You were hidden, intentionally, strategically, spiritually, for a moment like this. You had to be separated so the wrong hands couldn't sabotage what God was building. You had to be silent so the wrong voices couldn't influence your direction. You had to be unseen so the right people could discover you without interference. And now that heaven has secured your path, the breakthrough is ready to reach you in a way no enemy can block. This call may come from someone you know, or someone you've never met. It may arrive with excitement or with calmness. It may feel expected or completely surprising, but it will carry one thing you cannot deny: confirmation. Something inside you will recognize it instantly. Your spirit will say, "This is it. This is the shift. This is the moment." And all the confusion, all the delays, all the spiritual heaviness you've been battling will begin to fade, because this call signals the closing of your old season and the opening of your new one. Prepare yourself. What's coming is bigger than a conversation. It's the unlocking of a destiny that's been waiting for you to step into alignment. And when the phone rings, Christ's beacon, your life will never look the same again. They tried to bury you beneath their doubts, their gossip, their assumptions, their predictions. But God kept resurrecting you in ways they could not see. And now, chosen one, you are stepping into the moment where everything hidden becomes revealed. Everything delayed becomes released, and everything stolen becomes restored. Because this phone call that's approaching you is not just communication, it is confrontation. Not confrontation with a person, but confrontation with every lie the enemy ever whispered to you. Confrontation with every false narrative spoken over your purpose. Confrontation with every limitation placed on your life by people who could not see the size of the calling resting on your spirit. This phone call is the moment heaven interrupts the script others tried to write for you and hands you back your own story, your own identity, your own authority. You've spent seasons wondering why your spirit kept sensing movement when nothing around you was changing. You felt the pull. You felt the shift. You felt the pressure building within you, like something was preparing to break open. And that feeling was not imagination. It was prophetic positioning. God has been moving you like a chess piece, placing you in the exact spiritual coordinates where your breakthrough can reach you without interference. And now, in this divine hour, someone's heart has been stirred about you. Someone's mind keeps returning to your name. Someone's spirit won't let them forget what you carry. It's not coincidence, it's conviction. Heaven is steering someone toward you with intentional precision, because what they are about to offer, reveal, propose, or confirm is directly tied to the next level of your destiny. Before this call comes, though, God needs you to understand the truth about them. The ones who mishandled you, misunderstood you, underestimated you. These were people who benefited from your silence, but feared your voice. People who admired your gifts, but envied your calling. People who wanted your presence, but not your power. And when your spirit stopped tolerating their manipulation, when you pulled away, when you chose healing over attachment, when you chose growth over familiarity, they began telling themselves a false story about who you were. They thought you were breaking down when you were breaking free. They thought you were falling apart when you were falling into alignment. They thought you were losing everything when you were gaining identity, clarity, and strength. Now heaven has begun exposing their intentions, not to you, but to them. The ones who tried to replace you are realizing no one compares. The ones who took advantage of you are realizing what they lost. The ones who dismissed you are realizing how wrong they were. But here's the truth. This phone call is not coming from your past. It is coming from your future. It is not coming from someone who drained you. It is coming from someone who will elevate you. It is not coming from someone who needed you broken. It is coming from someone who recognizes your strength, your value, your anointing, your rare divine identity. And when this call comes, it will shift your spirit instantly. You will feel it. The atmosphere around you will change. Something in your chest will expand. Something in your mind will go silent. Something in your soul will exhale. Because chosen ones know when heaven speaks, even when it speaks through human voices. This call will carry signs. It will carry peace. It will carry divine familiarity. It will carry the same presence that visited you during your hardest nights. And as you speak, you will feel alignment settling into your bones. You will realize the weight you've been carrying was not heaviness. It was readiness. You will realize the waiting was not punishment. It was preparation. You will realize the loneliness was not abandonment. It was consecration. This call marks the beginning of your rising season. The season where closed doors open. The season where the right connections appear. The season where your name reaches places your feet have not yet stepped into. The season where opportunities you thought were dead suddenly resurrect. The season where your past loses its power and your future claims its authority. This call is not random. It is the key that unlocks the next divine rotation of your life. And when it comes, not only will everything change, but you will finally understand why God made you wait, why God protected you, and why God refused to let you settle for less than what you were created for. But chosen one, before this phone call manifests into your reality, there is a deeper layer of truth you must understand. Because what is coming toward you is not just a message, not just a conversation, and not just an opportunity. It is a divine correction of your timeline. Heaven is about to undo years of delay in a single moment. It is about to restore pieces of yourself you thought were lost forever. And it is about to accelerate your destiny so quickly that even you will struggle to keep up with the speed of your own breakthrough. But for God to release this level of momentum into your life, He first had to remove the emotional anchors that kept you tied to the wrong environments, the wrong spirits, the wrong expectations, and the wrong belief systems. You spent years believing you had to struggle alone, years believing your voice didn't matter, years believing you had to diminish your light to make others comfortable, years believing you had to earn love by sacrificing yourself. Heaven watched you carry burdens that were never yours. Heaven watched you shrink to avoid rejection. Heaven watched you give to people who took without gratitude. And heaven said, "Enough." That's why this call is coming. It represents a spiritual reversal, an ending of your old identity and an activation of your divine one. This is why your memories have been resurfacing, why your dreams have been intensifying, why you felt the urge to isolate, reflect, reorganize, detach, purify, and prepare. Heaven has been cleansing your spiritual field so nothing blocks this next season. Your soul has been pushed through a fire that removed every parasite, every attachment, every false connection, every insecurity, every illusion. And though the process felt lonely, painful, confusing, and at times unbearable, it produced something inside you that God can now build upon: clarity, alignment, discernment, authority, faith, and a spirit that refuses to settle. You have become someone who can finally handle the blessing you prayed for. Because the truth is, chosen one, the version of you from 2 years ago, was not ready for this call. You would have questioned it. You would have doubted it. You would have sabotaged it. You would have allowed the wrong people to influence you. You would have misinterpreted your own worth. You would have talked yourself out of the very thing God was trying to give you. But now you are steady. Now you are aware. Now you can recognize manipulation instantly. Now you can feel deception before a word is spoken. Now you can sense alignment the moment it enters your space. And because of this growth earned through tears, isolation, spiritual warfare, and silent battles, you can finally stand in the fullness of what is coming. Understand this. Your elevation is not happening in secret. Heaven has already announced it in the spiritual realm. Angels have already begun positioning the right people around your name. Someone has already felt the urge, an urge they cannot explain, to reach out to you, to discuss something with you, to offer something, to reconnect something, to open a door for you. And they may not understand why they feel drawn to you, but heaven does. Their spirit has been stirred because your season has matured. You are ripe for breakthrough. You are aligned for destiny. You are standing at the gateway of a divine shift that no human hand can interfere with. This call may come suddenly, in the middle of your day, during a moment of stillness, right when your spirit least expects it. Or it may come after a heavy emotional moment, like a divine interruption to remind you that God never forgot you. But whenever it comes, something inside you will recognize it instantly. Not with fear, not with anxiety, not with suspicion, but with a deep inner knowing, a calm shock, a holy alignment, a spiritual click, because your soul has been waiting for this vibration long before the number shows on your screen. And when you answer, the atmosphere around you will shift, not metaphorically, but spiritually. You will feel breakthrough in your bones. You will feel clarity move into your mind. You will feel peace settle into your chest. And you will realize in that moment that this phone call is not the beginning of your blessing. It is the announcement of a blessing already written for you long ago. Everything in your life, every setback, every delay, every heartbreak, every betrayal, every spiritual battle was preparing you to receive what this call represents: restoration, direction, elevation, and divine justice. This is the moment heaven has been preparing you for. This is the conversation that activates your next level. And when it arrives, chosen one, nothing in your life will ever remain the same again. Chosen one, lean in now, because this final section carries the weight of everything God has been preparing you for. There is a phone call coming, and I don't mean a casual conversation or a normal update. I mean a divinely orchestrated interruption, a supernatural appointment scheduled in the courts of heaven long before you ever felt the shaking around you. This phone call is not about noise. It's about destiny alignment. This is the moment where God takes everything you thought was delayed, everything you assumed was denied, and everything you believed was destroyed, and flips it, rearranges it, and resurrects it in one decisive moment. That call is not random. Heaven has whispered your name into the spirit of someone who has the authority. Yes, actual authority, to shift your circumstances. For months, even years, your life has been like a locked screen, frozen, waiting, unresponsive. But suddenly, God is releasing an instruction to someone connected to your future. And they can't escape it. They feel a pull toward you, a conviction, a responsibility they can't explain. You may not know their name today, but by tomorrow, their name will be tied to your uplift, your opportunity, your breakthrough. There is a person waking up with you on their mind. There is a person scrolling through their contacts, pausing, feeling the urge to call you. There is a person rehearsing in their spirit the words they need to speak to you. Heaven is nudging them. Angels are guiding them. Your name is being amplified in the unseen realm because your assignment is entering a new season. And chosen one, this call won't just change a situation. It will change your posture. You will answer differently. You will speak differently. You will walk differently. Because this call marks the end of survival mode and the beginning of strategic movement. This call carries clarity, and with clarity comes corrected vision. Vision for what you are meant to build, who you are meant to walk with, and what you are meant to release into this world. For so long, the enemy tried to make you believe you were forgotten. But how can heaven forget someone it has marked? How can God ignore a vessel he has shaped with his own hands? Do you not know that while you felt overlooked, God was protecting you? While you felt ignored, God was isolating you on purpose. While you felt disconnected, God was aligning the right person to reconnect you at the exact hour of destiny. That's what this call represents: timing, divine timing, perfect timing, a moment even your enemies can't interfere with. Some of you are about to receive a call that opens a door you didn't even knock on. Some of you are about to hear a voice on the other end saying, "We reviewed your application again. We want to work with you. We want to support you. We have a position for you. We've chosen you." And some of you, listen carefully, are about to receive communication from someone who once overlooked you, underestimated you,